What time is Cardi coming back?
He should be back.
Is Offset really gonna write that Maroon 5?
I don't know.
Because you have the instrumental, right?
Cardi B, born October 11th, 1992. In today's music industry, fame can be engineered, and few artists represent that machine better than Cardi B. From viral Instagram videos to love and hip-hop, Cardi's rise felt explosive, loud, and impossible to miss. She embodied an era that blurred the line between entertainment and artistry, one where personality could overshadow pen and shock value could rival skill. In 2018, her debut album Invasion of Privacy dropped like a cultural bomb. Fueled by chart toppers, endless cosigns, and heavy industry backing, it won a Grammy and broke records. But instead of building on that momentum, Cardi B seemed to step away from the very craft that brought her there, rap. 7 years later, there's still no sophomore album. Just singles, features, and social media antics that spark attention but leave little artistic legacy behind. Meanwhile, the conversation around her status as a rapper remains polarizing. Her loudest critics call her an industry plant, a glorified adult performer with ghostwriters and a hypersexual image designed to sell. Others defend her charisma, her hustle, and her connection to everyday women who see themselves in her story. But no matter where you stand, there's no denying something's off. How does the biggest female rapper of this era only have one album? And more importantly, why hasn't she released another? Cardi isn't a failure by any stretch. She's rich, relevant, and still commands attention across platforms. Her personality remains marketable and her fan base loyal. But her music career tells a different story, one that feels oddly frozen in time, as if Invasion of Privacy was both the beginning and the end. There's a quiet anxiety lurking behind the glitz that maybe the success of her debut can't be replicated, that maybe the numbers were inflated, that maybe the machine that built her knows another album risks revealing the truth. Cardi B might not have much more to say musically, or the industry fears the return won't match the launch. She was the perfect storm for her moment, raw, relatable, and undeniably loud. But rap is a marathon, not a viral sprint. And Cardi, for all her impact, hasn't ran many laps. The silence isn't just about music delays, it's about what the industry does when the product they built wasn't built to thrive in a traditional way. What happened? Let's talk about it. Salute to everyone that's requested this feature. It's your boy JC, StuntedGrowthMusic. Let's get it, man. Take a minute to like, subscribe, and comment on who I should do next. Cardi B is a rapper and media personality from the Bronx, New York. She grew up in the Highbridge neighborhood and attended Renaissance High School for musical theater before briefly enrolling in college. Known early on for her candid videos on Vine and Instagram, she parlayed that viral popularity into a spot on VH1's Love and Hip Hop New York in 2015. Her unfiltered charisma and humor quickly made her a breakout star of the series. In 2017, Cardi transitioned into music full-time. Her debut commercial single, Bodak Yellow, went #1 on the Billboard Hot 100, making her the first solo female rapper to top the chart in nearly 2 decades. The success led to her debut album, Invasion of Privacy, in 2018, which was critically praised and commercially dominant, earning a Grammy Award for Best Rap Album, a rare feat for a debut project of any genre. Stunt #1, build to trend, not to last. Cardi B's rise was lightning in a bottle, but not the kind that matures over time. She wasn't groomed through years of mixtapes, small shows, or underground buzz like many rap icons before her. Instead, Cardi was crafted in the social media age, fast, viral, and built off personality. By the time she signed with Atlantic Records, she was already a walking brand. Loud, funny, fearless, and perfect for the moment when virility outweighed skill. Bodak Yellow became her breakout hit, but even that was shaped heavily by producers and writers behind the scenes, even off the back of an already rising star in Kodak Black. From the start, Cardi was a performer of rap, not a writer of it. That formula worked once. Invasion of Privacy benefited from massive marketing, top-tier features, and a media landscape obsessed with her every move. But that same system exposed its own flaw. What happens after the initial blast? Cardi didn't develop as an artist, she expanded as a brand, and without consistent musical output or personal penmanship, the illusion of rap greatness started to thin. her features became more frequent than her own records, and her viral clips started to outshine her verses. It became clear Cardi was a celebrity who rapped, not a rapper who became a celebrity. Today, she's a household name, but she's also the blueprint of how the modern industry builds stars from attention, not from talent. Rap used to be a craft, now it's a platform, and Cardi plays that platform well. But when it comes to sustaining an artistic legacy, that foundation starts to crack. Without personal growth in her music, Cardi's catalog is thin. Her voice is loud, but her discography is quiet, and in the long run, that may speak louder than anything she's ever said. Stunt number 2, the pen problem, ghostwriters, and the question of credibility. For as long as hip-hop's existed, authenticity has been currency. The pen mattered, and if you didn't write your rhymes, you weren't respected in the same breath as those who did. Cardi B's career has defied that standard. From the beginning, she's been open about not writing many of her verses, even praising her team of writers like Partisan Fontaine, who penned much of her biggest hits. To her fans, that honesty is refreshing, but in the world of rap, it puts her in a strange place. Celebrated by the mainstream, yet never fully validated by the culture that birthed the genre. This isn't about denying Cardi B's success, it's about examining how little her lyrical authorship seems to matter anymore. Cardi has delivered bars that went viral, slogans that echoed across clubs and TikTok alike, but they weren't hers. She's not shaping the conversation, she's repeating what others craft for her. And when her name gets put next to legends like Lauryn Hill or Nicki Minaj, that comparison becomes difficult to accept if you aren't a Cardi B superfan. Those artists build reputations on what they wrote, not just how they delivered it. In today's algorithmic music landscape, the pen has taken a backseat to presence. Cardi B thrives on presence. Her delivery, her energy, her look, they all work. But the lack of authorship chips away at the idea of her being a rapper in the traditional sense. That's not to say she hasn't earned her fame, but in hip-hop, which has always placed a premium on writing, it's hard to ignore how different her path is from the greats she's compared to. Her voice is unmistakable, but whose voice is it really? And if she's not the pen or the producer, or even consistent with her releases, what's left when the hype fades? Well, celebrity. Stunt number 3, the second album that never came, yet. In 2018, Cardi B released one of the most successful debut albums in recent hip-hop history. Invasion of Privacy went 4 times platinum, broke streaming records, and earned her a Grammy. But since then, there's been no follow-up, just scattered singles, features, and viral moments. As of now, she's approaching a full decade without releasing another full-length body of work. That's not a break, that's a pause, long enough to question the foundation her career stands on. Cardi B is the cheat code for monetizing popularity. She can go viral, sell singles, move merchandise, host, trends, spark controversy, and still stay relevant in today's internet era. But while all that may sustain a brand, it doesn't define an artist. Projects do, body of works do, and that's where Cardi's catalog goes quiet. Her label likely knows it too. The risk of her next album not living up to the first, commercially or critically, is too great. So instead of pushing for growth, they've chosen to preserve the illusion. That strategy has worked, but it also stunted her ability to rise and dominate the conversation. An artist like Cardi could have been even bigger had she shown consistency and evolution. But she never had to. Popularity filled the gap that artistry typically occupies. She's mastered the moment, but never built a lasting musical identity beyond it. Instead of using her debut as a springboard, it's become a ceiling, one that gets harder to break through with each passing year. In the meantime, she sells sex, humor, brand deals, and single-run success. But beyond the personality and platform, who is Cardi B as an artist? She's proven she can dominate a moment, but nearly 10 years later, we're still waiting to find out if she can define a movement or just continue to ride the wave. All in all, Cardi B's story is less about failure and more about a system that rewards presence over progression. She didn't just play the game, she became its most visible symbol. Loud, magnetic, and impossible to ignore, she broke through at a time when entertainment mattered more than evolution. But with only one album to her name, the silence between projects has started to say more than the music ever did. She's proven she can stay famous, stay viral, stay wealthy, but never proved she could grow. The longer that second album takes, the more it confirms that her success was meant to be short-term. And when it does come, it will be judged at such a high and unforgiving bar that she may never be fairly evaluated. Built fast, sold heavy, and protected from risk, Cardi B may still be winning in the world of brand and image, but in the world of artistry, her potential remains a question mark. Salute, but for these reasons, her growth is being stunted. It's your boy JC, StuntedGrowthMusic, and I'm out.